Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a check-in, or not check-in, a review of how well I did in 2024 with my reading goals. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I had that many taken out of what I wanted to do for 2024 when it came to my reading. So I am going to kind of explain what I think my plan was and then what actually happened. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, but I am really quick going to talk about something I'm gonna be trying to do in 2025 as one of my, not goals per se, but one of the things I'm going to try to accomplish in my YouTube videos. So what I am thinking is I'm going to have for each video a pinned question down in the comment section, and I would love it if you guys would respond. What I liked about 2024 is my channel did slowly grow, which I'm so thankful for everybody who subscribed, and I had people who had left me some comments, and I really loved hearing from my subscribers. And so to kind of increase that or kind of expand on that, one of the things I'm going to be doing is having a question that I would love for you guys to comment on, so we can start a discussion on books, what we're reading, what our goals are, and just anything book topics. So in this video, I am going to have the first little question tagged down below in my comment section. So please, if you have a chance, make sure you look at the comment section and go ahead and answer that question. What the question is going to be for this video is looking back on your 2024 reading goals. What is the one thing that you wish you would have done differently? So for example, for me, and I'm going to go ahead and put that down in the comments section just to kind of get the question or get the ball rolling. I for some reason, I didn't put on paper or put electronically what my goal was. So it's hard for me to go and track if I met those goals, or if I was on track to meet it, or if I just completely bombed on it. If I don't have it written somewhere, then how do I know if I did it? So the one thing that I wish I would have done differently in 2024 when it came to my reading goals is to actually document what my goals are. I think I have a 2024 reading, like a 2024 vlog or video of me setting up a reading journal and talking about my goals, but I never wrote them down. So after that video was done, it wasn't in my brain anymore. So what I wish I would have done differently in 2024 was to actually type out what my goals are. And I have done that for 2025. I do have a spreadsheet. I have a Google Sheets that has the number of books that I want to read. It has the series that I want to try to finish. I have 25 books that I want to finish in 2025. I have a section now that has the number of pages I want to have, or I want to read every month. So I have it all electronically written down so I can keep track of it and not forget it. So definitely check out the question down below and let me know what your one thing is that you wish you would have done differently in 2024. I would be very interested to hear what you have to say, and then just let's chat. I want to talk more with you guys. So one of the things I want to do in 2025. But now let's bring it back to 2024. So I do know, because I did have this on Goodreads, my main goal for 2024 when it came to reading was reading 120 books. Now, I was concerned that I was not going to be able to hit this goal because in November, I was like 13 or so, between a little over 10 books shy of hitting that goal. And since August, I just have not read as much as I normally do, or as much as I did at the beginning of 2024. Once it hit like July, August, it was just a steady decline with the number of books that I read. I don't know what it was. I didn't even get into a slump. It took me so much longer to read books, and it just caused me it got really close to me not finishing my reading goal. But in December, I scrapped my TBR, which I do have a December wrap-up video that I'll link above so you can see what I did. But every book that I planned on reading in the month of December, I did not read. However, I did end up reading 13 books in December, which put me at 121 books for 2024. So I was one book over my goal in 2024. And what I ended up realizing is at the beginning of December, I was really in the mood for dark romance. I don't know what it was, but in December, I was in dark romance and I devoured my books. I read them back to back to back. There were many instances where I was awake at 2 a.m. going into 3 a.m. trying to either finish a book or I just could not put it down and I had to continue reading it to the point where I was literally falling asleep reading these books, but I was fighting to read these dark romance books. And because of that, I ended up meeting my goal. I know for a 100% fact that if I would have stuck to my TBR that I had planned for the month of December, I probably would have only been able to read maybe 4 books just because I was just not in the mood for those books. So needless to say, I was very happy with the books that I read in December. I devoured them. Those books were so good. And because of me switching it up and deciding just to scrap my December TBR and read what I actually wanted to read, I was able to get my 2024 reading goal. So I read 121 books in 2024, which is amazing. I have never in my entire life ever read that many books in 1 year. Never. So very proud that I did that. And going into 2025, that is the same number of books for my 2025 goal, just to see if I can consistently hit that number. But I did in 2024 and I was extremely happy about it. The only other documented, I think, we'll dive into something just to see if I actually have it documented, because now that I'm thinking about it, I might have some goals listed, but we'll see. But one of the other major goals that I had for 2024 was to reduce the number of unread books that I currently have on my physical TBR. So of all of these books that are behind me, I wanted to have less than 25% of them as unread. So I wanted 75% of my books to be marked as read and 25% of them as unread. That was my goal. And I failed it. On December 31st of 2024, I had 36% of my books were unread. And so far, it's been a week into January, and I have not read one of my physical books. I have finished 3 digital books. I have read 3 Kindle books, but I still haven't read any books in January from my physical TBR. So we're going to hope that in 2025, I can do 25% or less of my physical TBR as unread, but I did not do it in 24. And honestly, if you have a Kindle, it is really so hard, and for me at least. My bookshelf, I currently have 257 books that are on my bookshelf right now. And I have Kindle, and having Kindle and then also having Kindle Unlimited and the Libby app and Hoopla and all the other opportunities to have digital books at my fingertips, it's so hard for me to read just my physical books. So we're gonna shoot for it and see if I can get 25% or less of my physical TBR as unread, but that's going to be another one that I really don't know if I'm going to be able to meet. But those were my 2 goals that I have listed in 2024. I did also have in 2024 2 different physical reading journals. This is the reading journal that I started 2024 with. This was a Hobonichi notebook that I got. It's a grid notebook using Tomoe River paper, and this is the one that I started with. And as you can see off of my little bookshelf, I did not get far. I also had originally planned to read 110 books for 2024, but I decided after I got finished with my journal that I was going to go ahead and just do 120, because that was 10 books a month, and it was just a really easy number for me to kind of shoot for on a monthly basis. So I had 10 books a month for a total of 120 books, even though this is 110. So I was planning on doing 120, but I did not follow this very long, unfortunately. And then of my spreads, I had a new release spread, which didn't have any kind of goals on it. I had a yearly stats, didn't have goals. Thoughts per month, no goals, which is what I was afraid of. So, yeah. So I did have a goal of having a reading journal. I had this one, I did not finish. And then I also got a Clever Fox reading journal. This is one of the ones that actually were already they already had their own little spreads for you. I did end up using this for a little while. I also had this for a little while. And then the other thing that I ended up doing that kind of stuck to for the remainder of the year after using these was I had Notion, and I had created several different spreads to use. So I did end up doing that, but there wasn't anything documented or consistently referred back to when it came to any of my reading goals for 2024. So unfortunately, the 120 books that I wanted to read in 2024 and the 25% or less as unread books were the only goals that I listed out for this last year. So yeah, but I will say I did have another internal mental goal that I did want to read some of my classics. In particular, I wanted to read Frankenstein, Dracula, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I read not one of those. Those are also the same books that I have in my 2025 goals. I want to read Frankenstein, Dracula, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but I did not read those 3 classics in 2024, which was kind of one of my internal goals that I had for myself. One of the other goals that I did have was to read more non-fiction books, because I am typically a fantasy, a romance, a dark romance, and young adult sort of, depending on the young adult book. But I don't read nonfiction. I don't read memoirs. I don't really care for them. And one of the things that I wanted to do in 2024 was try to read those. I kind of had in my head that I wanted to read one nonfiction a month. And I don't think I read one book. Honestly, I cannot remember any month where I read a nonfiction book. So that is also one of the goals that I have for 2025 is I do have spelled out specifically 2 nonfiction books that I wanted to read in 2025. So I have documented those. But other than that, that's literally all that I did in 2024. And like I said at the very beginning, the one thing that I wish I would have done differently in 2024 was actually to list out on paper what my goals are for reading in 2024. And I did not do it. So I did want to make this video though, just so you can know what I did for 2024, just because I do have reading vlogs. I do have videos of the books that I did read on a monthly basis. And I just wanted to give you a summary of what my 2024 looked like. And with that, that's going to be it for this video. It was hopefully short and sweet because I didn't have anything really to talk about, because I didn't have anything written down. So, but with that, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below to my pinned question, and I will see everybody in my next video. Bye.